let's end with Mary Poppins.
I just don't have much on Mary Poppins.
I got a lot on Mary Poppins.
Why do you have so much on Mary Poppins?
Do you mean the movie, or do you just mean the actress?
I've got stuff that you're going to want to talk about on Mary Poppins.
Really? Did you talk about magical realism?
No.
Okay.
No. Why would I talk about magical realism? We want the show to be interesting.
It is interesting. Everyone loves magical realism.
I'm already asleep.
The Richard Belvin story.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Season 3 premiere of Even More Mashed Up, a pop culture podcast featuring two professors talking about all things pop culture. I am, of course, Patrick.
And I am, of course, Allan. And it's nice to be back for Season 3, where we're going to lead off with some strong material. The old Trailer Park classic. Beep, beep, honk, honk.
I'm sorry, you're just going to do all of my
Wow,
shtick?
watching his face go from smile to sad.
If we could only have that on film,
Yeah.
it was almost
That's
perfect.
real nice. I'm glad you felt the need to steal my shtick. And
So
also,
excited.
And also do it completely wrong.
That was the best part. It's totally
like
wrong.
I don't know how you butcher.
That's what makes it funny. Is that I've done.
Like, I don't know how the honk comes last, and you did it for.
I don't know what the screech is.
That's the brakes.
No, isn't Screech Zach's best friend?
Oh God!
It's a Saved by the Bell reference.
Yeah, no, I understood that reference.
Rich seemed confused. You
No, not
No,
confused.
Rich is here, by the way.
Rich is like
No,
the
not
Saved by the Bell
confused,
generation.
judgmental.
What?
You're not a Saved by the Bell guy?
No, that you made a reference to Saved by the Bell. I'm judging you harshly.
No. Okay.
I watched it. I don't know what to say. I also watched the college years.
Oh God!
We should do a retrospective on Saved by the Bell, the college years.
No.
Nobody knows what you're talking
that
about.
stuff got crazy.
I never watched any of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
those
that's not
kids-
what we're talking about today.
Take those kids and put them in
today
college.
we're doing another trailer park. Screech, screech. Wait a minute, that's not right. Screech, screech.
and both trailers crash into each other.
Now, I'm a little confused.
Which is
So, yes.
kind of a metaphor for the show.
So we're talking about upcoming fall movies.
And there are like 4 of them.
There are.
So we should get moving.
We should get
yet,
moving.
I don't have a ton of notes on some of them because they're kind of a mixed bag, I think.
That's probably a fair way to describe them.
Yes.
Should we start with the one that's coming out the soonest?
Bzzz. Is that Bumblebee?
No,
Is
it's
that a
Venom.
bee?
Oh, I thought you said.
Wait,
you
was
said
that
we were
supposed to
doing
be a
Bumblebee
bee?
first.
No.
Yeah.
Bumblebee comes out at Christmas.
Bzzz. Bzzz.
It's like a bee getting electrocuted.
Sabbatical
bee.
U is much more of a hot mess.
A bee into one of those like fly catchers that's electric.
Oh, the
That's
thing
what I
for
was
the
doing.
moths or
Yeah.
whatever.
No, it just sounded like a bee buzzing.
Originally, but then Rich said it. You guys were a tough audience today.
Yeah.
So we're actually doing.
Or let me just suggest,
Yeah.
your material sucks so far.
Wow.
Wow.
Season 3 is starting
All
out
right,
harsh.
Venom.
I can't believe I
Boom.
came back from sabbatical to
I
be
can't believe
treated
you
like
did either.
that.
I just assumed Rich and I would be doing the show ourselves this season.
Yeah.
Well, at least the first half.
I did want some quality.
Yeah. Oh, that's hurt. And yet, this is what you brought so far.
And yet it's better than what you and Rich would have
Venom,
done.
I
yeah,
don't think
so
that's
Venom.
Yes, Venom. Which is coming out October something or other.
Now, you're talking, Patrick, that we should do this on the show, the movie.
You mean watch the movie and then talk about it?
Yeah.
Yes, that would make a certain amount of sense.
I don't think so. Like,
Really?
This movie,
You're not excited about the
It is-
Venom movie that clearly everybody is clamoring for?
when I went to the comicbook.com
Has nothing to do with the other
webpage,
universe.
and I saw the headline, New Venom trailer embraces the Spider-Man villain's cannibal side.
Oh yeah, they
Yes.
doubled down on the Venom eats people.
I said to myself, this has to raise some concerns about Venom, right? Like, this cannot be a good thing.
Really?
That they're doubling down on the cannibalism? No.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't get it.
Yeah, it does send a bit of a mixed message on your sort of anti-hero vibe that Venom apparently at least eats a couple people in this movie.
Well, that does kind of make him an anti-hero, right?
I'm not sure that makes him an anti-hero. I
That's
think
just
that
a
makes
villain.
him a villain.
Yeah. Like, if a villain
what
happens
if
to do a
he's
couple of
cannibal?
good things.
What if he's eating really bad people?
I'm not sure that makes it better.
Not even, like, a little bit?
Well, here,
Not
what
really.
what if Spider-Man started to
We
murder
need a-
bad people?
We need an ethicist here to make sure.
Yes.
Because if you're just eating people's heads who are
I can get
really
the magic
bad-
8-ball.
Well, wait, is he eating...
All right, let's ask the magic 8-ball.
Is he eating people's heads, or is he eating all of the people? Because he said to the one guy, he's like, his lungs and his pancreas are snacks, and...
So many snacks, so little time.
Yeah, he tells the other guy that he's going to eat his arms and legs and face, and then he'll just be the armless, legless, faceless thing rolling down the street.
Because it's true
like
to
a
character,
turd in
it's
the
going
wind.
to work, right?
Now, to be fair,
Yeah.
does he actually do that, or does he just say he does that?
No, because it does.
I think it doesn't matter.
Well, because they show him, and then they show his mouth opening to eat the guy, and then he appears in the next shot as him human, telling the woman behind the counter that he's got a parasite, and he walks out. But she's clearly horrified.
But I'm
at
just
what
saying
she
the
saw.
guy could just run out.
Yeah. So let's get the 8-ball in first.
So what's the question exactly?
All right, so let's phrase it correctly.
Okay.
Is it more ethical to eat people if you only eat bad people? Fair
Okay.
question. And the 8-ball says...
Ask it again later.
It is for sure.
Okay.
So
The 8-ball has spoken.
perhaps in the anti-hero category
Yeah,
still then.
I guess
That
that's
is
fair. So, but yeah, no, I am not terribly excited for the
This
Venom
is
movie.
easy. Who
No,
needs
I just-
morality? You don't even 8-ball.
Here's the thing. Yeah, like the 8-ball is better than an ethicist, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Much quicker.
Well, there's a truth to
I'm
it.
just going to point out you just said the 8-ball is better than an ethicist.
I stand by that.
Okay. Just 8-ball.
I love 8-balls.
right.
Here's the truth about Venom. I've never been interested much in the character.
Yeah.
Like when Spidey came back from the Secret Wars?
Secret Wars, yes, with the black
And
costume.
he had the black costume. That was
Great
kind of.
costume.
I was a little kid. I was kind of cool. And then it was a symbiote, and I thought, okay,
what?
Symbiote.
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 I think it's symbiote.
Is it?
I think so.
I've never heard it said. I've
To
only.
do the 8-ball
I
again.
think they pronounce it weird. I think they pronounce it symbiote in the trailer, and it always kind of.
Well,
It's not symbiote.
is Harding the one doing that? 'Cause
Wait, did you
maybe-
say symbiote or did I say symbiote?
I said symbiote. You
I don't
said
have-
symbiote.
I don't know how to say
like
it.
kumbaya.
We could use some kumbaya in the studio this morning.
Symbiote.
We'll eat your pancreas.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, Venom, like.
Wait. Oh, he sings and it's funny.
Yeah.
I add an actual kind of twist to it.
Burst,
That's
yeah.
no good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just move on. Yeah.
It's called song building.
The song is my thing.
But the problem with what's not your thing on this show? You get the
considering I came up with that, yes. You get the 8-ball. I will
I'll take
gladly let you have that.
I will take it.
All yours.
But then, to get back to my story, then Venom got too Todd McFarlane-y for me.
Yeah, well,
If
I
that
mean,
makes sense.
I
And
mean,
it
Venom
just-
was good when he was like the kind of the stocky, would show up every once in a while.
Yeah.
But then, like, they realized, as they did with everything in the '90s, that Venom was popular. So they just massively overexposed him, and then they started taking him from like the creepy villain that he was, and kind of making him into sort of this anti-hero, semi-heroic character, and just kind of watered him down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pushed him over the top and watered him down at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do.
Yeah.
But they managed it.
Yeah, well, and it seems like the movie is sort of doing that as well, and that there's a lot. I mean, the cannibalism is kind of the over-the-top part.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the trailer where he like turns his hands into like giant axes or whatever, and like apparently just slices everyone in the
Do
room.
we want to go back to the 90s?
No.
I don't feel like that's a comic book era that's one that we ought to really
Embrace?
mine deeply for
Not
stories.
really. But the other thing too is that the movie feels very much like it's going back to a pretty standard Marvel superhero film.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that just I find weird is that this is a version of Venom and Eddie Brock that really has no connection to the comic book version.
The Hollywood Reporter had a bit about this and described Venom as, he said, it feels, quote, like a cover version of Venom or a tribute band's take on the concept. It's Venom-esque, perhaps even inspired by Venom, but it doesn't feel like the genuine article.
No, it doesn't.
So even that they didn't get right.
Well, because I mean,
So they brought the cannibalism, but
Like, of all things to bring over.
Right.
The least one.
yeah. Like,
yeah. Well, it's like I mean, Eddie Brock. First off, there's the voiceover to the trailer, which is really some of the worst exposition I've ever heard.
Well, we haven't gotten to Bumblebee yet.
Yeah.
But
I've got some stuff on voiceover there.
I do.
I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter. I
Color
always
me
seem to
surprised.
find myself questioning something the government may not be looking at, but I found something really bad. I'm like, I really hope that's not in the movie.
Yeah.
Because if that's, or he's describing himself on the phone to someone.
Yeah.
Because if that's the level of, between that and the turd line, I'm not really convinced about the quality of writing in this
It
film.
looks like a disaster. So what I wrote was like, I'm totally unconvinced. I go to see almost everything superhero. Mm-hmm. I go watch DC movies.
Yeah.
Like I will watch anything.
Yeah.
And this Venom does not make. So I was
doesn't
going to
feel like
ask
a
you,
superhero
like,
movie.
you make the argument. Why should I or anyone go to see this?
Because
why does it deserve an entire Even More Mashed Up review?
Because
cannibalism?
it's going to be so bad that it will make for a great show.
Okay, that's I think the one argument you can make that
Yes.
might get me there.
Yes. Well, because it's the argument that gets you to Transformer films.
Not at all true.
I think it is.
There is an art to the Transformers that Venom does not achieve.
Oh.
You know what? I will give you that.
Woo! Transformers win today.
Yeah, I will give you that as well.
Transformers versus
I might
Venom.
be using art differently.
You know what? It's the biggest Transformers win I've ever had on the show.
Yeah.
So I will take it.
So,
Slightly
but
better
yeah,
than Venom.
I mean, Eddie Brock in the comics was a disgraced reporter. Here, he's like the crusading journalist.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what voice Tom Hardy is doing for Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
But I just find it really annoying. Like, I didn't think anything.
It's Australian Batman.
I didn't think his Bane. I didn't think he could get a weirder voice than his Bane voice, and
Yeah.
yet his voice for Eddie Brock, it's.
You know, you veered very quickly off of my question is why should I go see this?
I told you.
That's
It's
it.
gonna
You
be
got
so
one
bad,
answer.
it's gonna be good.
There's
terrible.
nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
there's nothing else. Like, I am not at all excited about Venom.
One of these movies will eventually kill the superhero cycle too.
It's
Like,
a
it will
movie
kill
that
it.
doesn't have anything to do with the version of Venom that's in the
Oh,
comics.
here comes Mr. Canonical.
As far as I can tell,
canon.
there's no real connection to Spider-Man, which leaves the question of why does Venom look like Spider-Man?
there
in the
can't
film?
be a connection to Spider-Man, right?
Legally, yeah.
Well, no, because it's another one that's in association with Marvel Studios, like Spider-Man: Homecoming. So it's another one.
So
that,
it should have rights to
so
it.
they should have some ability to. It's another one that they're sharing, basically, like Homecoming did.
See, now if you'd done a Spider-Man trilogy where he got the black suit
Or
maybe?
something. But again, like
it's
none of
just-
this. Yeah. So it's a weird. It's weird. I mean, it feels like again, kind of in
Well,
the
I
same
think
way.
weird is not the word you mean to use.
Well, in the same way that I think
Dumpster fire.
the Dark Phoenix movie
Disjointed, lazy.
is sort of like the
bad.
last gasp of the Fox X-Men universe.
Yeah.
Venom, I think, is kind of the last gasp of what they imagined was going to be the Sony Spider-Man universe.
And now they will go and do something better with it.
Yeah, that's they'll realize that
No.
the Venom,
Oh, I
the
think they
Sinister
will.
Six movie
I
was
think like
never
DC,
a good
they'll just
idea.
keep doubling down on the grit.
Oh man, what's his name? The short little dude in the rhino suit. That would have been a good movie.
Paul
Paul
Giamatti.
Giamatti?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wasn't he the guy that
Yeah.
was in the
Yeah, he was in he was in
rhino suit at the end?
Yes,
Yeah.
of Amazing Spider-Man, not of
Right, yes.
of Homecoming.
But still, I would rather watch his
But
movie
yeah, so it's
than Venom's.
But yeah,
anyway.
Venom. I
Yeah.
have no and then there's just the doubling down on the cannibalism.
Yeah. I got nothing else. This looks
the
like
turd in the wind line.
It looks like a train
What's
wreck.
the rating for the movie?
It's PG-13.
Okay, so it's not going to be that.
No, it's not. No,
Like, if it was
again
R,
another
Right,
way,
so it's going to be all of that we just described,
but watered down.
PG-13.
Yeah.
So basically,
yeah,
the
there's been a
trailer
couple
is the whole
articles
scene
where they've like
probably.
defended. They're like, "Oh no, it was always going to be PG-13. It was never going to be R." And I'm like, "Yeah, Venom."
See, it's like
I'm not sure that an R-rated Venom movie would work, but I think it would work better than this. They
but
could have
it's-
gone more of a
Don't you
horror
think it's
route.
kind of caught like between a Deadpool
Yes.
kind of, go to the absolute point of absurdity and making a marketable film,
Yes.
and that Venom kind of fell somewhere in
It
between.
tried to
and
kind of split the difference, and
you can't.
It's not going to be
You
good.
can't split the Deadpool difference.
No.
You're
That's what
either
they did
full
before.
Deadpool.
That's why Deadpool was such a big deal. Was
You know
that,
they're coming.
they
They're
didn't
actually
split the difference.
over
Yeah.
Christmas. They are re-releasing a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2 to theaters.
Really interesting.
Is it like 10 minutes long?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not sure what
It
is.
should be like
That's
before.
actually a good line, Rich. 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Thanks, I guess. That
Yeah.
hurts. That's both a compliment and a kind of painful.
No, it's meant as a
Oh yeah, no, it
compliment.
worked on a couple levels. There's an art to it.
Hey, speaking of art and working on several different levels, maybe we should move to Bumblebee.
I was going to say, speaking of the absolute peak of absurdity, maybe we should move to Bumblebee.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so this doesn't look that bad, right?
Compared
Please
to,
help me. I love the Transformers series.
We know.
Here was my thought process. Okay, Haley Steinfeld, great and True Grit. Seems like she'd be very likable and a good lead for a film.
Oh yeah, she's
Okay.
perfectly solid.
So we're good. Storyline seems kind of looks like a classic Transformers kind of film. And those
A
action
rehash
adventures.
almost.
That action adventure special that kind of makes for a great popcorn movie. Mm-hmm. There's lots of special effects in it. Like so far, it's got all the stuff that should work. It's set in 1987. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the specific year? I knew it said sort of
I
80s.
looked it up, and
Okay.
so that's got to be great. I mean,
Hey,
in
that was
terms
the year I
of
was born.
music and fashion and celebrating the birth year of Richard Baldwin.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. Well, listen, if there's anything that the birth of Richard Baldovan deserves to be celebrated by,
A Bumblebee.
it's the 6th Transformers movie.
And then John Cena?
That's a little.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
a
he's in
little.
that.
Oh, I mean, he's playing a military type. But,
He is, which once again I'd like to point out.
Yeah.
This is a movie set in 1987
Yeah.
where the military is confronting the Transformers that they were not supposed to have any knowledge of in the first Transformers movie.
See,
Which
you're-
was
you're
what,
taking-
Like
2000?
continuity is once. I am
you are
really
taking this too seriously.
No, I am
It's
really
the
hoping-
Transformers, there is no such thing as continuity.
I am really hoping
Yes,
this is
we know.
actually a complete reboot.
It could be.
Oh man, could you imagine? They just
Because
out of nowhere,
I look
they
at the
just
trailer.
rebooted.
Yeah.
And I see an Optimus Prime that looks like the Optimus Prime that came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
I see Soundwave with his little panther that jumps out of the tape deck, which
No
nothing
idea who
made.
you're talking about, but okay.
He's
I
the
do.
Decepticon that the panther jumps out.
I'd never paid attention to Transformers until
Yeah.
Michael Bay started making movies.
Like what I
Don't
find
care
interesting is that
Toys
it is
the
finally
cartoon,
with
don't
the
care.
6th Transformers movie
Yeah.
that they have given people the Transformers that we actually want to see.
So you're excited about this movie?
I'm cautiously optimistic.
I came in cautiously pessimistic.
No, because I mean
So you have a higher level of anticipation for Bumblebee than I do?
possibly in that
The world turned upside
in
down.
that I'm secretly hoping it's a complete reboot and that they are recognizably the Transformers.
Yeah.
They are not whatever sort of god-awful metal nightmare Michael Bay made in the last 5.
So the Canon Kid is going to be, that's your new name. The Canon Kid is going to be more happy with this film.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Captain Canonical.
I am a little bit concerned.
I like that. But I like the kid because it
Yeah.
kind of, infantilizes
Humanizes
a
him?
little bit. Yeah.
So-
yeah, it makes it a little bit, younger. I like my cannon.
So I do like.
Yes.
You didn't kids get off my cannon.
So
Rich is 2 for 2 today.
I'm heartened also by the fact that they didn't follow up on the Bumblebee storyline that was like set up in the Last Night movie that Bumblebee killed Hitler or whatever it was.
Wait,
What?
what?
Huh?
Didn't they show him during World War II? Like there was a flashback in Last Night.
Boy, if I missed that if it's true.
Yeah, there was a flashback
Yeah.
where he was like they were helping the Allies again, even though they didn't know about them in 2000 or whatever when
Also-
the franchise started.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of issues with that.
I guess there's some issues.
But yeah.
Minor plot holes.
Minor.
Now, how involved is Michael Bay in the movie? Is he involved in it at all?
I don't know. He's not helming it, right? Like
I
he's
don't
not-
think so.
So I don't. I'm sure he's like executive.
Because one of the
producing
things
it
that I
or
was
something.
concerned with
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld is, of course, Bay has a tendency to objectify and sexualize the women in his movies.
No, not really.
But in the trailer, it didn't feel like the first Transformers did.
Yes, except for the fact that the very first thing she says
Yeah.
in the trailer is, "I'm Charlie Watson. I'm 18 today."
Yeah.
Like, oh, so in a Bay film,
Oh, so she's
we would have
legal.
just
Oh.
established that it's okay to like objectify and sexualize her.
But she's buying a car for herself. It felt like a birthday gift for herself.
And that was another question I had
Yes.
because when she buys the car,
Yeah.
she says, "I want the Beetle."
Yeah.
Now, in 1987, we called them Bugs. They were Volkswagen Bugs. I don't recall them being called. We didn't call them Beetles.
That's a good
Even
point.
though
I mean-
Beetle, I think, was the technical name, we didn't
Right.
call them Beetles. We called them Volkswagen
We
Bugs.
called them bugs.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that was one of the. Because I saw the can of tab
Look
in
at
the
you.
trailer.
Look at you demanding historical
I
accuracy in
do.
your
Well,
films.
yeah, if they're going to do historical context of the 80s, who among us is going to want to make sure they get that right?
I would assume it would be you. But
So-
yeah, I don't remember anybody saying, look at that Beetle.
That later they did that when they like re-released them or whatever. But in the 80s they were Bugs.
Yeah, we called them bugs too.
Yeah. Okay. So I was wondering about it, like that. So that threw me off a little
And
bit.
you're a West Coaster, so I mean, you would have the lingo for the West Coast.
So yeah. So that kind of threw me off a little bit because like why is she
That's
calling
what
it Beetle?
bothers you about this film.
It's one of the things.
Wow.
The accuracy of the 80s. Come on, I'm upset about the accuracy of the 80s.
All right, that's fair.
But yeah, so I'm cautiously optimistic in that it seems like visually at least we are finally getting the Transformers that everyone wanted to see, not the, shredded metal things that we've had up until now.
Well, unlike Venom, I do plan to go see this movie because
Of course you do.
The Transformers franchise has built up a lot of goodwill.
For you.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got no goodwill for me.
This is a very odd show.
Yeah.
You're defending
Now,
Transformers.
you wanted to talk about the voiceover?
No.
You said something about the voiceover for Bumblebee.
Yeah.
No, did I?
Yeah. I did say that I do like the first Bumblebee trailer where the voiceover is Bernie Mac's character from the first movie talking about how the car picks the driver rather than the driver picking the car. It's got like the reverb echo, like he's like the Yoda or the Obi-Wan of the Transformers franchise.
Every universe needs one.
Yeah, so I was like, that seems like they've taken that out of context. I like the bit where she puts the Rick Astley never going to give you up tape in his tape deck, and he spits it out.
Which is the appropriate 1987 thing to do. It is.
I also like that this is coming out at Christmas.
Why is that?
In that it sort of takes the pressure off of it to be a big summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
And so they seem to be going for something that is a more modest film compared to the other ones. But also allows Transformers to fulfill the nostalgia gap at Christmas because we don't have a Star Wars film this year.
Yeah, we do have Mary Poppins, however.
I'm not sure there's as much nostalgia around that.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how old you are.
As others.
The
the other thing that I do like is the way in which the film seems to be doing a twist on the first Transformers movie, which sort of had the boy in his car narrative. And here I like the gender swap of the girl in her car.
Undoubtedly, nerds will not.
No, that's probably true.
They would probably be upset.
They would probably be upset, but I liked that. So
they're letting girls drive
so
cars.
what little bit I've seen of the
next,
Bumblebee movie,
vote?
That's right.
It doesn't look as terrible as all the other Transformers.
What was your favorite Transformer as a kid?
I think the only one I had was Optimus Prime.
Yeah, so he was your favorite. He would be your favorite. He's kind of a leader of trucks.
Well, he's a leader of Autobots.
Thank you.
He's a leader of Autobots.
Thank you. Got the slow golf clap for that one.
Yeah.
A leader of bots.
That was a nice little callback.
He's a leader of bots. So, yeah, I mean, that was the only one that I had. I don't think I had any others.
Yes. I never got into the Transformers, so I couldn't even name them.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the Transformers cartoon on television.
Wait, not the Beast Wars one, the actual animated one.
Yeah, the actual Transformer, the first one that like the movies. Those I liked. Like, there'd be the G.I. Joe and then Transformers and then eventually Thundercats. Like, that was good stuff.
Okay, well, that leads to my next question, actually. Are there any cartoons from your childhood that still remain that you'd like to see made into a movie franchise?
Oh, Thundercats.
No.
Thundercats?
I love Thundercats.
Yeah, great, but they're destroyed in the film.
Thundercats.
But it would be
it
would be a terrible movie, right?
Loved Thundercats.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Thundercats, Thundar the Barbarian.
No.
Come on.
No.
It wasn't even a good show.
We've watched Barbarians on the big screen, and they usually don't turn out well.
Speed Buggy.
No.
Loved me some Speed Buggy.
Not on my list yet. How about the Herculoids?
Oh, well, yeah, I do like the Herculoids. I like the one that shoots. Yeah, the little rhino-looking thing.
Yeah. He'd shoot those little pellets.
The little pellets. Oh, I loved the Herculoids.
But it would literally make that sound like pew, pew.
Yeah, it was something like that.
How intimidating is that?
It's not. It's like the highest pitch sound and like tiny little pebbles
out
of this giant rhino-looking thing.
It'll sound better.
So you're being serious. These are cartoons you'd actually like to see made into movies.
Yeah. Now, are we talking animated movie or live action? I don't care. I'd see them.
Okay.
Space Ghost.
Oh, Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Oh, a live-action Harvey Birdman would not be bad.
I would watch a live-action Harvey Birdman.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of suggestions for you.
Okay.
I'd really like to see the Laugh Olympics turned into a movie.
The what?
The Laugh Olympics. They took all your favorite
Hanna-Barbera characters, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Dastardly and Muttley?
Yeah, they threw them together, and they had like the team of the good guys.
Because there's Wacky Races was them as well.
Team of the bad guys. Who was the third team?
I don't remember.
I
remember the bad guys. There was Penelope Pureheart was in Wacky Races.
Yeah.
I remember Wacky Races better than Laugh Olympics.
I love Laugh Olympics. The Shmoo?
Oh, I loved the Shmoo. Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman. And the Teen Angels.
I've got that on my list, actually.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels would be...
Captain Caveman.
Oh, I love Captain Caveman.
Man, that was classic.
That was so good. Unga Bunga.
And then that thing, the club would
His
open
club
up.
would open up with all kinds of gadgets, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman.
How about Hong Kong Phooey? Or too racist?
Yeah,
that would be
no longer acceptable in American pop
I'm not
culture.
Sure.
The cartoon's kind of okay,
yeah,
but like,
I'm not
make
sure
that live action, and there's
really
a lot of
do-
problems.
Yeah. Underdog you could do.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Underdog fan. How about Grape Ape?
Oh, I loved Grape Ape.
Grape Ape.
Grape Ape.
Grape Ape. Grape Ape.
Oh, Grape Ape.
Man, that's
so good.
I'm not sure how that would translate to the big screen.
I'm not sure either, but I would like to see them try.
Maybe it could be like a King Kong.
Well, yeah, I mean, it basically was.
How about Grape Ape meets Jabberjaws?
I was not a big Jabberjaw.
I never liked Jabberjaws.
Jabberjaw should be like the next Meg.
I actually wrote just kidding next to Jabberjaws.
Yeah, Jabberjaw. I always found him kind of annoying.
Who wants to see that guy in a movie?
No.
That'd be the next Shark movie with Jason Statham.
Oh, it's
or
sequel to the Meg.
Yeah,
or Jabberjaw NATO. It's like Sharknado, but Jabberjaw.
Could you imagine a whole bunch of him swirling around you?
Oh, his voice was so
How did
annoying.
he talked kind of like
He had
one
a
of the
very
Three
high
Stooges,
pitched
right?
voice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, it was kind of like Shaggy.
curly?
Was he kind of like a Shaggy?
Did
No.
Casey Kasem do his voice?
I don't know. But yeah, no, I never liked Jabberjaw.
Yeah, Jabberjaw was stupid.
Speed Buggy was much better.
All right, we've gone through my list then because I did have Captain Caveman.
Yeah.
And then I ended with the Herculoids.
Yeah. Oh, Herculoids.
Which would be spectacular.
How do you like the Herculoids but not Thundar the Barbarian?
I never got into Thundar. Maybe
love
I'm too
Thundar.
old for Thundar.
Possibly.
Like it might have come out after I was too old. to
Yeah,
enjoy
I
it.
mean, Thundar does have sort of a hip youth vibe to him.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
In the context of this show.
So we might have drifted a bit from Transformers.
But we are, when we're talking about the Herculoids, talking about some pretty fantastic beasts.
Wow.
No, I'm not going to give that to you.
No,
No.
we could talk about fantastic beasts
We
if
could.
you want to.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do that.
We're about halfway through. So
We are. So we're
doing
on
well.
track.
I've got a lot of Mary Poppins to bring the show home. Though.
I've got a decent amount of Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
Like,
boy.
I've got a sentence with Mary
Right.
Poppins.
Well,
So-
we better get moving. Fantastic Beasts. This
Yes.
is the first one on the show today that I'm totally in on.
Really,
Cannot wait to watch this movie.
despite the controversies about it.
I don't even know what the controversies are.
Oh,
well,
because
there's
he's-
three. There's three.
3, a Trinity?
Well, one is the
Controversy?
continued use of Johnny Depp following the spousal abuse allegation.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't like Johnny Depp either.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah, I'm
kind of-
also sick of him. Like, whenever I see him in a role now, it's like...
Yeah, I'm
really?
a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, on the one hand, I like that they don't seem to be veering away from the Dumbledore-Grindelwald relationship.
Yeah.
You know, as the scene with Dumbledore looking into the Mirror of Erised, where he sees Grindelwald in it and kind of implies that that's the thing he desires the most.
Boy, you are.
I'm a bit concerned
Serious.
that Rowling sort of talked about that Dumbledore's attraction to Grindelwald is what
who?
caused Grindelwald.
To Grindelwald?
Is what caused Dumbledore to, quote, lose his moral compass. And so I'm a little bit concerned that, like, this potentially
because God
homosexual
for-
relationship is like,
No.
you know,
Yeah,
that's a bad
hopefully
phrase.
it's
But it
a
might
lot
not
more-
be the homosexuality.
Yeah, it might be like
Yeah.
the Jedi
that
kind of thing.
tilts
Yeah,
his
I'm
compass.
just- yeah.
It's the Grindelwald.
But Rowling
part
has
of it.
not done great on diversity issues. We talked about
Yeah.
with the first Fantastic Beast, like her history of magic in America is based on some pretty stereotypical ideas of Native Americans.
Right, yeah.
The big thing in the trailer is Nagini.
Yes.
In that there have been a number of people criticizing the depiction of her as an Asian American woman. That it's playing into stereotypes of exoticism, of Asian women particularly as we know she becomes Voldemort's pet.
Right. Well, what race or ethnicity can play the part?
I don't know.
Like only white people?
I don't know.
And then you're only casting white people.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to kind of see the portrayal of Nagini
In the whole film.
in the whole film
'Cause there's
before
at least-
you can really make a decision about
Well,
that.
because there's, you know, a lot of people are complaining that, you know, we know that she's going to, I mean, obviously she's going to be killed in her human form at some point to become all snake.
I thought, why would she be killed in her human? Is that how you become?
I'm assuming that's what Voldemort does to make her a Horcrux. You have to kill someone to make a Horcrux. I'm assuming he kills like her human half.
Because what I read was that she's a maledictus, so she can shift back and forth
She can,
at
except
will, but will eventually be trapped full time in
as
the
a snake. Yeah, that's what I read too.
So
you know,
that doesn't sound like
but my concern,
right. You
so
don't
people,
want her to become a woman in a refrigerator.
Yeah, people often complained about her being a circus attraction for the way that plays
that was
into
funny, but-
sort of exoticized
I see that.
visions.
But I feel
think
like,
they're setting her up as kind of a tragic character that you know she clearly is struggling against what she knows is going to happen to her.
But if she's fleshed out as a character,
Yes,
the tragic quality of it is not necessarily.
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Right?
saying. Is that I
Yeah.
think she's but so there's been but there has been a decent amount of negative reaction to
Yeah.
her in the film.
That seems
Which,
fair.
by the way,
Seems fair.
do you know the actress playing her, Claudia Kim? Do you know what else she is known for?
No, I don't.
She played Dr. Helen Cho in Age of Ultron.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's the doctor that has the cradle that
Yeah.
makes vision.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I'm also the other thing I'm concerned about is
Yes. Depp.
the idea that we need. Oh, it's Depp, Nagini, and then the lost moral compass. Those are the three controversies that I
got
saw.
it, yeah.
I'm also concerned about like the film's need to give us the origin of Voldemort's snake. Like it kind of reminds me of the kind of minutia, like when Jeff Johns in comics felt the need to give us the origin of Hal Jordan's bomber jacket, or Barry Allen's bow tie.
It
Like, do we really need to know the origin of the snake?
it runs the risk of being one of those clever things you do just because it's clever.
Yes, exactly.
Just to kind of build these connections
Yeah.
that moviegoers feel like should exist between films, but in real life almost never actually would.
Yeah.
Right?
So
maybe, I mean...
that being said, I am all in on this movie as well.
yeah, I hadn't thought about the Dumbledore
Yeah.
angle. I think Nagini, you need to wait and see. I
Yeah.
think the same for Dumbledore.
I think the same for Dumbledore as well.
Depp, if they could trade him out for somebody else, I'd have no problem.
The other thing I find really weird about Grindelwald is in the trailer, it sets him up as basically the same motivation as Voldemort, that he wants to elevate the wizarding world over the non-wizarding world. In the books, all he wanted was Deathly Hallows. He wasn't so I'm kind of surprised, like, why are we giving him the same motivation as Voldemort?
Right.
So he basically ends up being kind of a warmed-over Voldemort.
So the canonical kid strikes again.
Da-da-da.
In a sense. I'm just saying it's
but I see your point. It would be perhaps more interesting
Yeah.
if Grindelwald felt somehow more different.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's kind of the same thing we saw before.
But Eddie Redmayne and Jude Law look pretty awesome.
Oh, Eddie, I gotta say, I think I like the Fantastic Beasts franchise better than the Harry Potter franchise.
Now, keep in mind, it's only the second movie.
I know.
It's interesting because the Harry Potter franchise is so different from 1 to 7.
It is.
In some ways, you can almost chunk it up into 2 or 3
Yes.
kinds of films. I mean,
Well, because you've got
it
1 and
starts in
2.
such a childish way.
Yeah, 1 and 2, it's Chris Columbus, the guy that does Home Alone, and they're
Yeah.
both very Home Alone-y.
The end is as dark as it can be in many ways.
Yeah,
It's
well, then you have
very,
like 3, 4, and 5 where they're sort of finding their way.
Right.
And then 6 and 7 when it gets really dark.
Right. And for me, 3, 4, and 5 are kind of my favorites, I think.
Yeah,
I've
because
always
they're
go
the
back and forth
balance.
between 3 and 5 as my favorite. I really like Order of the Phoenix, and I really like the creativity in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, I Goblet, I think, is my favorite.
See, Goblet's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Besides the first 2, which are, very much kids' movies. Goblet, for some reason, bugs me. I don't know why.
Huh. Interesting.
And
So
6...
But I think you might be right about it. There's
I'm sorry, could you just write down when that happened? You
I
just
said
said I
might.
might be right. I know, I'm taking it.
okay.
How desperate I am for affirmation.
Might be right about it in that somehow it feels like the Fantastic Beasts are freed from the straitjacket of the canon.
Which is ironic, because that's not usually the case with prequels. Usually
Right.
prequels are hamstrung by the fact they have to lead up to whatever is going to happen.
But the movies, 1 through 7, when they were made, the Harry Potter series, was very much true to the material in the books, right?
Largely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
they condense some things and stuff like that.
Like you have to when you make films.
Half-Blood Prince, I think, is the one that suffers the most from condensing.
Yeah. But the point being, you had to kind of follow the books.
Right.
Here, it feels like there's a little more freedom.
There
to
is.
me, like I just
Well, yeah, because there's. I mean, I don't know how much she's done in what is it, Pottermore. I mean, she talked about the origins of magic in America, but I don't know that this story has really been told. All we have is Newt's book on the Fantastic Beasts, really.
right, which is so slim,
Yeah.
and
So there is a certain, and I
opens
will
up
say,
it's more adult in the themes.
oh yeah, it's much
kind of like
darker.
the end of the Harry Potter.
Well, even
franchise,
I think
where
the
they wanted to
actress
ask bigger questions.
that plays Tina in it has said that this movie is darker than anything so far in the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It feels like they might be going for kind of an Empire Strikes Back sort of vibe.
If
It's pretty dark then, because
I'm really tired of people doing that. Like
Yeah.
the second one has to be the Empire.
Yeah.
Like I just if nobody ever said that again, I would be a very happy person. But people are going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt.
I mean,
about
I
it.
just said it, so.
I know, but again, after that, but people are undoubtedly going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
And so,
There also seems to be a lot going on in this film.
but Grindelwald should be dark, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Should be dark.
But it seems like there's, because we've got obviously the pursuit of Grindelwald, but there's whatever's going on with, is it Credence or Prudence? I can't remember the guy's name from the previous movie.
I thought it was Credence, but
I thought it was Credence too, but I couldn't remember. And he's with Nagini at the circus.
Yeah.
You've got clearly Newt and his brother running around, that there's a conflict there. You've got Tina, Queenie, and Jacob are all back.
Right.
We finally get to see Lita Lestrange. That was Newt's sort of unrequited love. It seems like it looks like there's a lot, based on this trailer, there's a lot going on.
Agreed. Yeah.
The only thing we don't see is in the first movie there was that whole plot line with the American senator and his son that was trying to convince everyone of magic,
Right.
which they seemed to leave hanging in a way that suggested it was going to be continued. But I don't see it here, which I don't have a problem with it because that was not the best part of the film.
No, you're right. That's a lot to have to cover.
Yeah. So, but I'm definitely all in on Crimes of Grindelwald.
And the Grindelwald film should be dark.
Yeah.
Right? It should be dark. So I'm sure you've done the Sorting Hat online. What house are you?
I don't think I've done the Sorting Hat.
No.
But I'm probably Gryffindor.
You think so?
I feel very Gryffindory.
I'm sure you do.
Well, what about you? What's your
I mean, again,
house?
the hat lets you choose.
I don't know the house.
So I would
No,
choose
it
Gryffindor.
doesn't.
Yeah, it does. That's what they said in the movie.
I
The
don't.
movie lied.
The movie doesn't lie.
I don't know the houses well enough, but I feel like Hufflepuff. Both my kids are huge Hufflepuff fans.
Hope I could see as Hufflepuff.
So wait,
Bobby's
has no
a
one else
Hufflepuff
actually done the
fan?
Sorting Hat?
Yeah.
I would see Bobby as more Ravenclaw.
That's what I got.
He's not. He's a Hufflepuff guy.
Okay, since Richard's Ravenclaw, I'd like to take that back. Bobby's not Ravenclaw.
Am I the only one who did that actual Sorting Hat?
I've not done it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if I've done it. Yeah, I hope. I think absolutely I could see Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
That strikes me as very much Hope.
Maybe a future show.
I see both of you as Ravenclaw.
Oh, that
though.
would be good. Yes.
It would be good. Just a Harry Potter. We could have
Or
J.K.
just
Rowling on,
or
maybe.
you know, various quizzes we take. Because I took the Star Wars quiz.
Yeah.
I'm Han Solo.
Oh, you're always Han Solo. Could you get J.K. on the show? We could have her.
By the way, guess what I was when I did the Lord of the Rings quiz?
Aragorn.
I was Aragorn.
How many times you have to take it to get those two guys?
I did not take. I did it
408
once.
times.
That is not true.
Yeah.
It was on the first try.
How many answers did you go back to, like, to alter the...
No, I did not. I am Aragorn and Han Solo, and I feel like that pretty much captures me. I think that's my essence.
Oh boy. Speaking of magical thinking, Mary Poppins, or do you have more on the
No, I think we pretty much covered
Fantastic
Beasts. I do like Eddie Redmayne as Newt.
How do you not love Eddie Redmayne? The guy's
Jude.
really
No,
good.
who's playing it? No, it's not Jude. Is it Jude Law?
Yeah.
Okay, as Dumbledore. So far, it looks pretty good. Yeah, no, I like what is it? Zoe Kravitz as Lita Lestrange.
I like the combination of the really magical creatures, which was one of my complaints with the first movie.
Yeah.
Like too much of that stuff. But I liked the juxtaposition of the magical creatures and the darkness.
It is.
Of this
My
film.
one concern with the magical creatures is, are they going to feel shoehorned in?
Right.
Just because it is Fantastic Beasts.
Well, he is a beast guy.
He is. But I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, plus the title of this film, I guess, is technically Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Crimes of Grindelwald, which might be the longest title
yeah.
ever.
It's hard to imagine you could sell
But
that
yeah, I'm a little
film.
bit concerned that the beasts might feel a little shoehorned in. I'm hoping not, but I fear they might be a bit shoehorned just because it's like, it's Fantastic Beasts. We have to have some magical
And
creatures.
there's already a lot going on.
And there's already a lot going on.
Which seems to be a recurring theme.
Yes.
Maybe films have gotten too
But
complicated.
again, I would say of all the movies we're talking about on this episode,
Yes.
probably Crimes of Grindelwald is the one I'm most excited about.
It is a clear number one for me.
Yeah.
And I am somewhat of an Emily
You are an Emily Blunt fan.
Blunt fan. So, but yeah, it's number one.
Okay, good. He didn't hear me call him a flan.
I did.
No, I did too.
No, okay.
You called him a dessert.
Every time I point out one of your mistakes, you're like, I said fan.
No, I can't. At this time, I did say flan.
Okay. So let's talk about Mary Poppins.
Flan.
I was never a big flan guy.
No.
Yeah, you're not a flan fan?
Not a flan fan.
Not a fan of flan.
No, not at all.
Do you have a plan to become a fan of the flan?
No, not even Fantastic Flan. I'm not a fan.
Ooh, Fantastic Flans and where to find them.
Mary Poppins.
It's a very different.
Mostly Barcelona, probably.
Is that what it is? Okay.
So Mary
Actually,
Poppins,
it's Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah, which
It's basically the first movie.
totally threw me for a loop because I thought it was just a remake of Mary Poppins.
No. This is
So-
this
It
is
pretty much
apparently
is.
The trailer starts, and for the first minute, I was really confused because it looked like the Banks children had married each other
Yeah, I was a little
and
confused
had
too.
kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
And then it's- well,
like,
'cause
this
then-
is
and then-
not what I thought.
and
the
then at one
Banks
point
kids
he's
were
like-
growing up to do.
Yeah, like the son is crying about, everything's gone bad since your mother died. I'm like, but she's your mother too? Like, I was really, I had the same thing. I'm like, are they brother and sister?
Right,
Like,
and now
what?
they've got kids. I'm like, Mary did not do a good job of
Yeah,
parenting
that's
these
why
kids
she's-
when they
well,
were
that's
young.
why she's back. She's like,
Mary's
look.
clearly got some very radical ideas about
No.
marriage.
Child rearing.
A spoonful of incest helps the medicine go down.
Which,
The medicine.
you're the singer.
Yes.
I'm the Deliverance mashup guy. Now I'm imagining Mary Poppins meets Deliverance.
God.
No.
Sure
Wouldn't
do
that
like
be-
your purdy nanny.
Wouldn't that be Mary Pops In?
There you go. See, that movie's probably already been made.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to look at that movie.
No. So sure do like your purdy nanny.
Okay.
Who's flying a kite here?
Oh God.
Squeal like that one I left.
Penguin.
like that.
we could-
Oh,
I feel
the
like
penguin.
Yeah.
I feel Rich jumps right on it.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't like the idea of Mary Poppins meets Deliverance?
That seems a little forced.
It's Mary Poppins and Burt Reynolds canoeing down the river.
Yeah. No, it's going to be hard to do.
Fun for the whole family.
Well,
apparently
on the
it's-
Deliverance side.
Yeah, well, and apparently it's fitting with the brother and sister marriage.
Right. That just so that's what got me thinking about it. I'm like, wait, the Banks kids
Yeah,
got
it's a
married
weird. I'm
to
like,
each other
so,
and they
yeah.
had...
I was very. The trailer does not do a good job of setting up like what that
No,
relationship.
I was like, boy, England has different laws than I
Yeah.
imagine they had about like who you can marry and
Yeah.
whatnot.
So, I do have to say the movie really. I'm a little underwhelmed, just because it seems very similar to the Christopher Robin film that just came out. It seems very much like Hook. That the child's grown up and kind of forgotten how to be a child, and Mary Poppins needs to come back.
Yeah, which was my point here. Like, do we really need this kind of Poppins film? Like, my note said, like, we just got Pooh with the old Christopher Robin. You've mentioned Hook.
Sorry, you just got Pooh.
Well, I did just watch American Vandal season 2.
Okay.
Which has a lot of
Yeah.
Pooh around it. So I'm thinking, like, what's next? Because clearly, you're right. Like, this is now a trope
Oh yeah.
that we're doing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here's my pitch.
Okay.
You play the Hollywood studio.
Okay.
I pitch you like the next Mary Poppins Returns.
Okay.
All right, it's Peanuts. But this time, old Charlie Brown meets Snoopy, who has magically not aged after his failed marriage to Peppermint Patty.
I'm sorry. Based on your pronoun reference, Snoopy is married to Peppermint Patty.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You know what?
That was actually going to be my next question.
Yeah, studio heads are not grammar
Oh no, it's
Nazis.
very fitting with the Mary Poppins Returns
Yeah.
in terms of the weird
Yeah,
relationship
no.
between brother and sister.
He wants that. That's
Okay, so the point being, Charlie Brown is old, and his marriage to Peppermint Patty has failed. Clearly, even in the comic strip, she was a meth addict, right?
I'm not
I was
sure,
about to say,
Peppermint Patty
which
I'm
one
not
is that
sure
drug
that's
problem?
the
Always
reason
had a
most
meth
people think her
problem.
marriage to Chuck would have failed.
Well, and
I don't know what you're referencing,
I think there are
sir.
other more
Sir?
canonical versions.
Sir, I do not know.
Yeah.
I do not know what you were referencing.
Oh, you're totally a Marcy.
Ugh. Are you saying you're a Peppermint Patty?
No, I am not.
Because we don't want to go down that
Yeah,
road.
no, let's not
No.
go. Yeah, that's a Joni and Chachi moment.
But clearly, Peppermint Patty had some kind of meth problem. Lucy has grown up to be like an Ann Coulter-like advice-giving figure
That totally makes sense.
on the Twitter.
on
Schroeder
the Twitter.
co-owns the bar, the jazz bar, in La La Land
Okay.
with Sebastian.
Okay, you're starting to mix.
Yeah.
And Linus is institutionalized.
Well, because
That
Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, right.
that or like a wilderness survival expert of some kind. Or he just lives by himself in the woods.
No, I like him institutionalized.
Yeah.
Because he still got his blanket.
It's a straitjacket. now,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
They've turned his blanket into a straitjacket.
It's the only way we could get him inside.
You forgot someone.
Who else do I need in there? Pigpen? He's still dirty.
You forgot a couple people.
Pig
Well,
Pen
one of them's
works
not
for
a
the
person.
CDC.
You forgot Woodstock.
Wait, Pigpen's a person?
You forgot Woodstock.
Wait,
Do you say
What?
Pigpen's not a person?
No, I meant Woodstock.
Do you think dirty people aren't people?
No. I like
Do you
Pig
think
Pen.
he was just a moving blob of dirt?
What about Franklin? You didn't mention Franklin at all.
Damn it, I didn't mention Franklin. Woodstock, he could still
Woodstock
be young.
is dead, right?
With
Yeah,
Snoopy?
Woodstock's dead.
Woodstock is dead. That's basically in your dystopian Peanuts nightmare.
No, Woodstock is, he's the therapist for Linus. Glad you're fixing Patrick's mic now.
Yeah, that's good. 'Cause we've only been doing the show for 43 minutes. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure moving the mic closer to me will fix that.
So what do you think? The old Peanuts. It kind of works.
I would change the title
Yeah?
just to Old Nuts
Old Nuts?
with an apostrophe.
I'll take it.
So
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to bankroll that.
No?
No, I'm busy bankrolling the Hawkeye Solo movie.
How long were you waiting to say that?
I literally just thought of that right now.
Clearly, I brought this to the wrong
all
studio.
of my money is sunk deep into that.
Your studio
and
is
he's not
literally
making that back.
going out of business next week.
So, but back to Mary Poppins.
So you don't really like the old nuts.
No.
I see. You strike me as a guy who would love old nuts.
Yeah, you're trying too hard.
That's what she said.
Yeah, okay, let it go.
That's what she said.
Okay, so back to Mary Poppins. So I think the film,
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons, I think the film is facing an uphill battle.
I agree, despite its huge star power. Because
got
nobody's
great-
bigger than Lin-Manuel Miranda right
And
now.
you got Emily
Oh,
Blunt.
yeah.
And it's Emily Blunt. And Dick Van Dyke is in the
Is
movie.
in it.
I will admit, that is
it,
neat.
Meryl Streep's in it.
Yep.
What's her face from Murder, She Wrote's in it.
Angela Lansbury?
Yeah, she's in the trailer for a moment.
Well, you love Murder, She Wrote.
So yeah, but I'm number one, I was very excited to see that at least some of the scenes look like they're hand-drawn animation, like the old Mary Poppins.
They're clearly trying to make
was
it
very
feel
like
like,
that.
the old film,
But
which
part
I
of it too
liked
is
as
I'm
well.
like, Mary Poppins, the original, is so beloved.
Is it?
The song, in particular, the songs.
I never cared for it.
Like Spoonful of Sugar, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Chim Chimmery.
The Chim Chimmery.
How do any of the songs in this movie live up to that?
That was always my favorite thing to order
I
at
can't
Chi-Chi's.
think of any of the songs.
The Chim
I just
Chimmery.
listed 3 of them.
No, I mean of the trailer.
That's the thing, that I don't know any of. There's a couple of, but yeah. So I feel like, I remember what was it when Tim Burton redid Planet of the Apes. He mentioned that he was breaking his rule that you never redo a movie that was beloved.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to pale in comparison.
Didn't he do Alice in Wonderland too?
Well, he broke his rule a lot.
I was like, he didn't learn much.
Well, I think after he broke basically after he broke that rule, I think that's when you see the Tim Burton sort of decline in quality.
Well, he kind of started prostituting himself.
yeah.
Taking any project he could get. See,
But yeah, so I
Yeah.
worry that this film is never gonna. It's just gonna feel like a retread.
but to me, that was Beauty and the Beast a couple Christmases ago.
Well, yeah, that's
When the
but that's
live-action
even a
Beauty and the
little.
Beast
That's
came
just a
out.
literal remake. Of
I know,
the
and
film.
I thought to myself, like, that just seems like a terrible idea because the cartoon is so beloved.
Yeah.
So it could go the other way. I mean, they're clearly trying to get the classic Disney feel, not just with the animation,
Yeah.
the big dance numbers, the music, the return of Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
But I never loved the first Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I mean it was
And-
fine, but it's not one that I was
Yeah,
ever
and
terribly
so-
excited about.
I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah.
Plus, the old Banks kid is so angry at Mary Poppins. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, well, but that's always
Yeah,
he's got to learn how to be a child again,
But
I
like, did he
guess.
forget?
which I'm
like,
guessing he probably will by the end of the film.
I don't think so. I think he's going to end
would
up.
be a nice
you know,
twist.
But yeah, it just feels like we've
he
seen
does
this.
gets divorced.
It's Christopher Robin, it's
his
Hook,
kids
it's all of
emancipate themselves.
Yeah.
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 I'm pretty sure. Well, Judge, my parents are my aunt and uncle as well.
Yeah.
Can I be free of them? Yes, you can.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Mary
So-
Poppins works for
But
CBS.
as it turns out, Forbes has the exact opposite take
Really?
of you. Like you see rough sailing ahead.
I'm concerned. Yes.
Forbes had a headline where they worried that Mary Poppins Returns, what they said, quote, just ruined Hollywood's Christmas.
Oh,
Because Disney was moving Mary Poppins Returns from Christmas Day,
right.
the 25th, back to the 19th. Which they said was going to royally screw over.
Scroll?
You heard me. Scroll over.
No, we're going to talk about those with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, royally screws over the deluge of big releases opening on the
You
21st.
mean the deluge?
Deluges. Yeah, there you go. So, what else is opening on the 19th?
I don't know.
Welcome to Marwin?
What?
Yeah, I
What?
don't
Oh, is that the Steve Carell thing?
I don't know.
Where he's like an action figure come to life or something?
know. Holmes and Watson?
Ugh.
Aquaman?
Oh God! Oh God! Why don't we talk about that?
Bumblebee?
I think you mean Aqua Bro.
And Alita, Battle Angel.
No, they moved Battle Angel Alita.
Okay.
Because they moved that with Dark Phoenix. That's now, I think, taking Dark Phoenix's spot in February.
Okay.
And
And
Dark
then-
Phoenix is taking the spot the Gambit movie was supposed to have.
The week before, December 14th, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the Mortal Engine.
Oh, I forgot about Spider-Verse. That looks good. I'm excited. about
That movie looks good. That's one we should have talked about.
Yeah.
That looks like a movie worth seeing.
that looks good. I'm excited for that.
But what really struck me about the Forbes thing was this idea that Mary Poppins was going to be an all-conquering machine.
Really?
Right. Well, they screwed everybody over because they've bumped back, and the idea was it was going to just destroy the box office of all these other films.
I mean, it's possible.
Forbes
that the
certainly is a-
branding-
So it's Mary
Forbes-
Poppins, Bumblebee, Aquaman.
Welcome to Marwin, Holmes and Watson, no longer Battle Angel, Bumblebee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's going to ruin it. I think that's just way too many big movies coming out. I think they're all going to kind of be watered down. I'm not sure that any of those movies is going to stand out.
I feel like one of them will.
I'm not sure. I think they're all going to do kind of middling. Unless Aquaman is better than everyone suspects.
I think if you look at that list, Mary Poppins Returns has the best odds.
I don't know. I might give it
of dominating
if
the box
Bumblebee
office.
is not as bad as all of the other Transformer movies.
Yeah.
I could see that one
No,
rising
Mary
above.
Poppins has got the history behind it, though.
You're
Yeah.
right, because there's not a history of Transformers.
But it's going to
I think.
appeal
Not a
to
good history.
But think about the appeal of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it's
Think
Disney.
about start with then the casting.
Yeah,
Again, Lin-Manuel Miranda is
He
a
is.
superstar right now.
and then you're gonna pull in all the
Everybody
older
loves
folks.
Emily
Yeah.
Blunt.
They do.
And
You know?
Dick Van Dyke, Meryl Streep's gonna pull in all the
Yeah.
older
I'm
crowd.
just not
And
sure.
it's got the demographics.
Yeah.
That my parents will want to see this film.
Yeah.
And if they can sell it to kids, then parents have to see it.
But that's the issue. I'm not sure.
You don't think today's kids want this kind of film?
I don't think this Mary Poppins is going to have the draw with kids as the first Mary Poppins.
Why not? She's clearly a better Mary Poppins.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
She's better than Julie Andrews?
Yeah, the Emily Blunt Mary Poppins will destroy.
You haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah,
You don't
that-
know.
I've seen enough. Yeah. No, Emily Blunt will take her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julie Andrews has got no chance.
Yes. Well, Emily Blunt was in a quiet place. You are now in a ridiculous place.
Wordplay.
Yes.
Now I'm trying to imagine Julie Andrews in a quiet place.